Hey folks, it's Jeremy, the host of Blammo. Thanks so much for listening. This is a preview of one of our exclusive shows on Patreon. These are member-supported shows, meaning they only happen because of our incredible members and community. So check out a preview of the episode, and if you like it, consider joining us on Patreon at patreon.com/Blammo, where we have tons of exclusive Blammo episodes, shows, our amazing Slack group, and we're adding new things for members all the time. If not, no worries, we still love you, and we literally have hundreds of episodes of Blammo all free for you to dive into. Thanks so much. Hey folks, it's Jeremy Kirkland. I apologize. There's no funny British dude reading the intro this week, but it's fine. It's fine. I am incredibly pleased to present to you a very special episode of the JJJ Show. Look, if you're new here, the JJJ Show or Triple J Show, I don't care what you want to call it. It's hosted by Jeff Hilliard, myself, and Jian DeLeon. It's basically our kind of fashion head podcast where we rant, we dissect everything in the world of menswear and fashion, and it's a good old time. It's one of the shows on Patreon. Definitely check it out. But this episode, this is the one where we finally convinced the influencer's influencer, Lance Panda, to come on. We recorded this the day we were leaving Tokyo, and it almost didn't happen, but we got it. So who is Lance? Well, he's a bit of a mystery, and I think he kind of prefers to keep it that way. But yes, he's on social media to an extent. But Lance, he's honestly just a collector. And in my opinion, he's that one friend that we all have who reminds you how much fun it is to just like stuff, to like clothes, to like music, to like watches, whatever that is. We chat a bit about Lance's personal style. We talk all about the brand Goros, the Japanese brand that's the feathers. And I mean, you'll hear it. Collecting Rolex and why liking what you like is really the best way to collect. So it's all in there. Dig in. Love you all. Here we go. We did it. All right. We are here with Lance Panda.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I would say probably one of the most requested guests, other than like Ralph Lauren, is we got the source.
Wow.
Yeah. Most requested, also most talked about. On the pod.
That's true.
Elusive.
Yeah, people being like, "Is he doing a fit check? Is he doing a fit check?" But we're here. We did it. This is what the last pod. You know, I think that we were going to do more, but we ended up actually hanging out here.
We were too busy buying shit.
We were too busy buying a bunch of gear.
We were too busy spending.
Yeah.
All whatever money we had made here,
which is very little, $83.
Yeah, it's true. All the money's gone. But Lance, how you doing? Thanks for joining us.
Good. It's a pleasure to be here, guys. Finally.
Yep. It's finally happened.
We did it. All we had to do was travel all the way to Japan 3 times to make it happen.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, because I mean, you used to live in New York, but you're here now.
I'm here now. I moved here last year.
Yeah. And I mean, but we had talked about this earlier. It's like you've always been a great guide because also your Japanese is like wild good, and it's like
I don't know about that.
Well, the best example
that's the most Japanese thing to say. Though.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like we were at dinner the other night, and like I don't know, Lance just orders in like a perfect Japanese, and then someone else who like actually Gawa Clark, a journalist who like lives here, was like, "Your Japanese is great," and Lance's like, "No, it's not. It's terrible."
Yeah,
and I'm like. That's actually even more Japanese to reply that way. Well, the best just not you don't accept compliments. You don't accept compliments here.
The best example was when we were at Dover Street, and Jeff was trying to look for some bag, and so we're talking to them in like different levels of like broken Japanese or broken English or whatever, and walks in and explains it all, and the entire mood of every sales
they were so happy.
Completely changes.
What did you say to them?
I was like, are these two morons like causing trouble? And they're like, no.
Yeah.
They're like, no, it's okay. And I was like, what's the problem here? And they're like, Usually if you just start by insulting yourselves, it just sets the tone for a better.
Yeah. So when you got complimented on your Noah Barber jacket, I like the Home Place store, you should have been like, this is actually not a bad. It's not a good jacket.
Like, this is just garbage.
Yeah. Sorry. This.
It's true. Yeah, I got
this jacket actually sucks.
Yeah, I got
too much shit on
my Noah Barber, which I thought was funny.
At the barber store, right?
At the barber store.
That's right.
But then, no,
it was at Isumiyaki.
Yeah, Isumiyaki.
Oh, nice.
Oh, good barber.
Yeah,
it's better to just start with self-deprecation, followed by an apology for what's going to happen. And then it just kind of,
and then you get into
there, you get some leeway. I think,
Right.
Yeah, because I'd pulled the classic American guy move, bought stuff in Japan, and then promptly returned it.
Yeah.
And you were just like, you don't do that here.
Returning is like, when you mentioned return, and we did this last time, right? And it was like, ugh.
Yeah.
It was dicey last time.
I didn't even want to go near it because like I might go there sometime in the future, and if they remembered me, it'd be like, that's the guy that returned those. Like,
yeah, there's no Japanese word for return.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's not.
It's not in the vocabulary.
I did it though,
Yeah.
I did the old, I'm going to return this and then purchase 10x the return on the flip side.
Yeah, I was going to say, we should work backwards because yesterday was very much a day that it was like, okay, we had a few sort of like
the day the bank broke.
It kind of, there was a crescendo.
Yeah.
There was a crescendo.
Crescendo.
Kind of in the, the denouement.
Yeah, there really was.
Stage.
Because it was like...
Well, it was release day. Saturday's like when all the new releases come out at a lot of stores.
Yeah.
So whether it's like Supreme or what have you, like if a store is going to release more product, that is the day that it
Lance
happens.
was along for the journey too, that whole time. Should we break it down?
Let's do it. Go for it.
Yeah. Oh, and people got carjacked. I certainly, dude, those Vision pants I wanted were gone throughout the company.
Really?
Oh, you gotta, if you want to hit the VisVim drop, okay.
Yeah.
On Saturday, if you don't have the request put in with your plug by Tuesday, within, I'd say 20 minutes of it hitting the gram, there's a very low chance that you're going to, especially in a site like 3 or 4, it's already set. And so that's the thing. And I kind of figured that out eventually where I was like, it's impossible to buy anything, but it's like, that's how fast you have to be ahead of the game.
How many years have you been buying Viz?
I mean, we kind of started remember, Jeremy, in the when New York, when they had the pop-up?
Oh, yeah.
On what was it, on Dwayne or whatever?
Was it Dana's?
Oh, no, it was Williamson.
Yeah,
it was
Dana.
Like the 196
180
or 180
Williamson or something.
Yeah, it was next to the
Yeah.
Armory on Dwayne.
Yeah.
And I think it was Dana, who was, not anymore, Viz PR.
The PR, yeah. What is it? Is it called 186 store?
Denise
Is that
Williamson.
Yeah,
180
Denise,
the store.
Denise.
180 the store?
Yeah,
180
yeah.
the store. Yeah. So that's where it started.
I mean, I kind of knew about it. There was some stuff before that, I think, but that's when you got like the first chance to try stuff on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
In the US, right? Because it was sort of like an elusive or, retail experience. They didn't have anything in the US.
No.
They did,
No.
or then they didn't. I don't know. But anyway, so then Jeremy and I went
It was
over
like
there.
Union, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Union, right. But that was the first time you had they had a guy from Japan sent over.
Yeah.
TTK.
Yeah, that's true.
And so we went over there and just blew that guy's mind. Super high energy. And then it kind of built on that, and then because he, came back to Japan and kind of kept the channels open. And then, so I mean, what is that? So that was 8 or 9 years, 10 years.
And was he your plug through most of it then?
Yeah. And so then he got sent to LA when they did that. And then he ended up going back to Japan and he was good. He was the manager of the Omotesando store for a while. He was at FIL for a while. And so he kind of moved around the company, but he was a high up guy. And so he had the power to get stuff done.
Yeah.
He wanted something that was a hard to get piece or whatever. He could get it done. So, mad respect to TTK.
Yeah.
He moved on, and then I got passed around to a couple guys, and there was kind of a dark period where I would I'd be emailing, I'd be like, "Yo, this thing, whatever," and then just
sorry, man,
total radio, not even, man, no response means no, just nothing, and then you get a response a month later in Japanese and be like, "Oh, so sorry," no, and then those guys got moved around, and now I finally, when I came to Japan, I kind of rekindled with some of the old heads there that are still around, and so now I kind of got a good setup there.
So we were in the store, the Nakamagura store, which I've never been to. You guys have all been there, which blew me away.
Store that's 3 houses.
Yeah.
The old ninja house.
It's amazing. It's
cool.
Transports you back. There's Nakashima furniture in there everywhere. It's you don't want to sit on anything. They serve coffee. It's crazy.
We walk in and Jeff immediately gets on his hands and knees and goes underneath the table.
I'm like, was that signed by George? I'm just a
Nakashima guy.
fucking idiot.
I was like, no, it's dope.
But it was a Fireman's Cove Nakashima book match, which is as good as it gets, basically. And it's just direct
in there. You
center
go in there and
of
you're like, there's nothing in here. And then you look, if there's $20 million of stuff.
I mean, that table's at least $100,000, probably more. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's just got sweaters on it, and you're like, okay, cool.
The
All right, it's a
layout
good
of
start.
that place, it's like because there's the gardens in the inside, and you'll be talking to someone, and then like a sliding door will open, and someone will come behind you.
Yeah.
Or something,
Yeah.
and you're like, "What? Were you there the whole time, like listening?"
Yeah.
Like those old like secret like listening things with the ninjas.
With your size.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Size
sure.
sword.
Yeah, we heard you
Yeah.
were looking for this.
Yeah.
I mean, all the furniture in there is insane. There's like, this perfect level of like exposed wood beams and
It's amazing.
cool.
It's a cool
It is
store,
cool.
and it's right on the river there.
Mhm.
And so,
And
we-
there's like three compartments. So there's
Yeah.
the entire. Well, and there's also like the other house next to like the main house with the Little Cloud Coffee that has all like the ICT stuff.
The ICT stuff is kind of centralized there, I think.
So
so
what's ice?
Yeah,
Indigo,
everything I
Trailer.
know about Visvim, I've learned through Dan for the most part.
Yep.
So yeah, what the hell? There's many different like offshoots of Visvim, right?
Yeah, I mean that's like, I mean, what is it, Ian?
I know it's Indigo camping trailer.
It's
Yeah.
like an extra level of finishing. I
Yeah,
would
it's like
say,
sort
just-
of one-off kind of pieces.
or lower
Yeah.
quantity production
'Cause is-
stuff with just more like hands-on.
Because ICT also isn't sold by other places, right? It's only through the
Well, there's also like
director.
a literal because in the Geyer they had the literal ICT. They had like the
Right.
trailer set up
right.
above
yeah,
that,
yeah.
like 2 floors above where the store is. But yeah, it's like very limited because there's also Contrary Department.
Contrary
Which is,
department, right?
like,
But I think
different.
that's like
Yeah.
LA, maybe.
Yeah,
It's still part of Viz.
Yeah.
And then there's FIL is just like a general term they use,
Free
right?
Free International Laboratory.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
sort of like their parent
Yeah.
Yeah,
company.
it was Cubism,
Yeah.
and then Cubism FIL.
I think
Yeah.
Cubism is
And
still
then
on the tags.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
the parent holding company.
Yeah.
Japanese brands do that. Like they subdivide their
they
main
do.
brand, and I don't. They think it has meaning, and I don't
It's
think
pretty
anyone
confusing.
understands or cares.
And then like the denim line is all social sculpture.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I don't even know what I bought yesterday.
got a
That's just
Grizzly.
straight Viz. That's straight Vismim.
That's straight
the,
Vismim.
The Visley.
It was made in
Yeah.
Japan. I
That
like.
was
So
that was a nice.
so
program.
yeah. So Lance
Oh, they also
Panda.
have WMV for
Yes.
the women's,
the women
line.
thing.
Yeah.
Which well, yeah, okay.
yeah.
Lance Panda and Jeremy convinced me I got my first piece of Visvim made in Japan grizzly jacket.
That was a nice.
It was a good price. It was like $3,000.
We found out that there's
less.
not tax free at
Yeah, they
Visvim,
don't
so it's
do
a little bit more expensive.
They used to, but they
Oh.
got
10% more
They
expensive.
did.
They got audited,
Yeah.
and we can whatever. I don't even know this true story, but I think there was like an issue with it, and they just said, you know what, it's too much work. You know how people charge for it now?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they charge for tax free, right?
Press they charge
Yeah.
They charge
a fee for tax free.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
charge 2,000,
Yeah.
which was I was like,
$10
oh,
bucks,
remember she was
12
talking about it? Well,
So-
15.
Yeah.
or
Oh,
whatever.
really? Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But I think it's just the paperwork is a nightmare.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was
free commission, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you bought your first pair there, you're like, I don't know what happened, but we figured it out later that there's sometimes a little fee.
Yeah. It's a little confusing, but I mean, to go on the Viz thing, I think like everyone has had like similar scenarios where it's like you find something cool and then you send it out to
Yeah.
like your group chat or you text some friend and you're like, hey, I got this. Either help me not get this or help me get it.
Oh
And I
my
think
God.
the camp was clearly divided because I was like, well, Jeff, I was like, you said it cost this much money. If you don't, and
It-
you were
it
like,
took
I don't know
me-
if I should
yeah.
get it.
It took
And-
me an hour to decide.
Yeah,
I
and then
think.
Lance is
it
like,
took longer than that.
Yeah.
I mean,
we showed up and I was like, fuck.
I mean,
Yeah.
you were trying it out the day before.
Actually, yeah,
I mean, it
all
was
right,
more
all
than
right,
a
all
day.
we were with Gian and Janice the night before, and you were like, "Oh, this is actually
Yeah.
really cool."
I,
This
was,
is
I,
what
was,
I've
I
been
went in.
looking
I was
for."
like, show me all the 6.5s you guys got.
You did. That's literally what you just show me
This-
everything.
This one has coyote fur, and I'm like,
Fuck.
well. And then Janice was actually like, I want to try that one. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pain. Pure pain.
And so you went, you tried it on, you liked it, and
It's sweet.
then we went to CoverCore right after that because this was like 2 days ago,
mhm.
and then you guys all were trying on a bunch of stuff, and you had gotten these like they were dope.
I got
Cheetos. They were
some
orally
sweet
Cheetos.
orally.
Yeah.
They just didn't quite fit
Cover
right.
Quarter,
so-
I think if you want like a crash course in every hot Japanese brand at
Yeah.
the moment, you just go there.
Yeah, it's
They
true.
have they have Unlikely, which is another newer brand by a former Beams creative director that is pretty sick.
And what was that other brand that it was
Kamoli?
Krista, yeah. Krista, yeah.
Kristasea.
Krista say, yeah.
which I had never heard of until we got here. But all these things were basically like kind of smashed
But
together.
they're not technically Japanese. It's like a Parisian brand that's done by a Japanese guy.
Yeah, that does
Yeah.
most of their production in
Oh,
Italy. It's
yeah.
like, it's all over the place.
Okay.
But they have some cool stuff.
But yeah, I mean, the curation is through the roof. It's really,
great.
really good.
Yeah.
So you guys are all like figuring out your sizes, doing whatever. We go, I don't know what we did that night.
We met Ashley that
Oh
night.
yeah, we met Ashley that night. We did the thing, and then the next day we're shopping again, and Jeff's like, okay, it's it's because it's like it's nearing the end of the trip. You're kind of like having this.
Well, we didn't want to pull the trigger on anything because we're like, well, tomorrow's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
because we know
Yeah.
that there's all this shit coming in.
In my mind, I was like, I'm going to return those pants, and then we'll see.
But then
at
that's
Visvim.
classic Jay Hilla, right? Where you're like, listen, I already know where this is gonna go. So if you need to go through this whole kabuki,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
struggle
That was a
of
big
the whole
one, though.
thing, and we're in the cab, and I'm like, listen,
Yeah,
it's already determined. I mean, in the sands of time, it's really irrelevant, and so just
it's like what is
The
this
sands
much
of
money
the
in
sands of
time?
timeline is what
It's,
got
it's
me.
written
Actually,
in the stars that you were going to have this jacket.
my favorite thing was like he dropped the sands of timeline. He's like just $1,800 in the sand, and then I was like, "That's not tax free." And he's like, "So just another $200 in the sands of time."
the sands of time is an infinite desert.
What's 200 more grains in the
What's
sands of
200?
time?
I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah, I mean it was
So we knew it, and then we were in the store, and then Jeff's just like, he's like, I don't know, man.
Let's go get
We're
a
like,
coffee
"All right."
first.
He's like, no, I can't do it. I'm like, as soon as we walk away, he's gonna be like, I should have done that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna end up going there the next day for the third time. So we're like, look, let's just go have a coffee.
That was smart. Yeah.
Let's
Because they had the coffee. They had a little cloud at that
They
shop.
do. And we, Jeff and I actually just did the power move of doing half cola,
Oh, yeah.
half coffee.
That was
Oh, which
solid. That was
is
solid.
insane.
Yeah, because they had homemade cola.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
So
sure.
did half cola, half of that bottle of coffee.
So good.
warm oatmeal
Crack.
cookies that had lemon in it. They handed me the cookie. It was warm. It was a perfectly
Yeah.
chewy, crispy cookie.
And some espresso machine I had never seen.
Have
in
we
my
talked
life.
about the Little Cloud coffee lemonade though, and how it takes like 5 hours to make?
What?
That sounds right.
You guys
They-
want to hear a story about the? Well,
Yeah.
Yes, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
they used to have a brownie that was sweet. You know, it was good. And some like influencer from Korea or something came, and like these ladies came, and they had never even like heard of
Yeah.
Visvim, right? They weren't like customer, and you couldn't even get in the store because everyone was
Just blew
buying
up.
brownies. And eventually Hiroki was like, no. And he just 86 the brownie from the menu.
Gone.
And so anything that gets like hyped, they
I respect
kill.
that though.
And so I feel
Yeah.
like the lemonade stuff like that, it's like he wants those people to just suffer like
Yeah.
the same process that he went through to discover these
Yeah.
things. And so it's kind of like that kind of experience thing. And if you
Wait.
don't want that, then he doesn't want you to
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah, but it's gonna suck if you're the person making it. Because I ordered a lemon. It was like a hot day. It was like I don't know, Japan in like
Oh,
July.
and that thing definitely has no air conditioning.
Yeah.
They open like the tiny little window.
And it's like I'll have a lemonade, and then you see water, and then you see literal lemons being cut,
Yeah,
and I'm just like,
yeah.
this is gonna take 9 hours.
oh my god! I was like,
Yeah.
I already
Fresh
kind of had to
squeeze.
pee, but now I'm just all right. I'm in it now. I just paid
Yeah.
$17 for this lemonade
You're in
that
it.
is being hand squeezed.
I kind of respect that move from Hiroki though, because like it was how we were talking about with
Yeah.
the Apresse guys is like if you buy into that hype, it's over. You have 2 months or whatever of like incredible experience, incredible sales, and then it's over. So it's like he just killed it because he's like, that's not what we're about.
Yeah,
And I feel like he's always been like that.
I mean, I agree. I think the one thing there are a lot of brands out there that they get hyped.
Yeah.
And the truth is the only thing that makes the brand special is the hype at that time.
right.
But I think Visvim is the classic thing. I mean, that's a brand that I've embraced and left many times, but like you cannot deny the fact that like the quality is there, the story is
Oh, yeah.
there, the like everything about it. It's a very hard brand to. I mean, it's not that I want to criticize it, but it's a very hard brand to like nitpick because like, and to be honest, I've only nitpicked it when I'm like just super sour, you know.
Yes.
But like the stuff is really, really, really good.
It's super well made.
It's the only time where people that don't know anything about that kind of stuff ask me. And they're like, oh, where did you get that shirt? Just randomly. And you're like,
How much time do you have?
Yeah.
yeah. And you're like, well, there's like this dirt pit, like in the this old volcano. And like, and it's like, and at
insane.
some point during the conversation, you're like, you come out of your own self and see yourself talking and
Yeah.
explain about this guy in like a Cobra driving around Japan who lives, in an old, like one of those ninja houses. And you're
Right.
like,
He only makes one pair of
And then-
jeans a
Yeah.
year, basically.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like it's insane. Just when you talk to every brand that's like hyped here, I've never been to a place where everything that's good has a philosophy of almost like, yeah, no, we want less business.
Yeah.
Like we actually
It's
just
true.
we actually hate the fact that we sell through things and we just want to make what we make and that's it. And it's
Yeah.
just it's an interesting philosophy that I feel like is unique.
The
It's really
anti-capitalism,
evolved. If you look
capitalism.
at the old stuff, the old VizVim stuff was like really like more contemporary textiles like Gore-Tex and stuff. Remember that stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do, yeah.
Translated into like those kind of old military
Yeah,
silhouettes
and they would
workwear
beat the shit out of
silhouettes.
it. Yeah.
And then it really evolved at some
Yeah.
point.
Hello, you've reached the end of the Patreon preview. If you'd like to listen to the full episode, please consider subscribing and supporting the show on patreon.com. Members get access to all the JJJ Show episodes, plus Dye Workwear with Derek Guy and Peter Zottolo. Visit patreon.com/Blamo to learn more. Cheers.